All right, everybody, on behalf of Reliant Title, I want to welcome you guys to use Facebook and Instagram stories and get noticed. I don't know if any of you guys follow me on social media, but stories is my absolute favorite piece of social. In my opinion, it is the best free thing Facebook and Instagram has ever offered. If you are someone that is not looking to dive into paid strategies, but wants to absolutely maximize free, Facebook Live and Facebook Stories are where it's at. There is nothing better. I don't think there ever has been anything better. So I love this topic. And there have been a lot of new updates, but one really, really big one that we're going to talk about today. So our agenda, we're going to dive in. We're going to talk about what a story is, just in case you're new to these. We're going to talk about why you really need them. The numbers on stories keep growing, and they are just straight up insanity. I'm going to show you how to create one. So I'm going to screenshot share you Facebook and Instagram apps right from my phone. So if you don't know how to do one, you'll know exactly how to do it. I'm going to share with you the game-changing new update that they've added and rolled out over the last 60 days. And then I'm going to give you a pile of content ideas and tips and strategies. So if you actually want to do these, you can definitely make the most of them. I know everybody, so I won't do a long intro, but my name's Ryan McHugh. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I know a lot of you have been on or are on every week, so thank you for that. And I am excited to say next month when we are back to in-person stuff, you guys, I think, are my first in-person stop, because you are the only group I think that I haven't met yet. So you guys are my first in-person stop of March. So looking forward to doing that, and we will nail down those topics and get that ready to go. All right, let's dive in. Using Facebook and Instagram stories to get noticed. So let's discuss what a story actually is. If you have no idea what a story is, it is a 5 to 15 second piece of content that can be either a still photo or a video. If you do a picture, it will default to being 5 seconds. If you do a video, it will be however long your video is, between 5 and 15 seconds. And if you do a video that is longer than 15 seconds, so let's say you had a 60-second one, it will string together those to make as many stories as needed. So if you had a 60-second one, that would be 4 15-second stories that it will put together. And these content pieces have a 24-hour shelf life. So after 24 hours, they disappear. So if you get it wrong or you mess up and you just can't figure out how to delete it, within 24 hours, it is gone. In my opinion, like I said earlier, the absolute best free marketing tool on Facebook or Instagram. I don't think there's ever been anything better, and I can't really think of what they could possibly do that would make something better. And the reason I think that is because the story solves the age-old marketing question of how do I create one thing, get it out to many, and then get it back to one. So how do I go from one to many and back to one? If you think about old school advertising, right? There's the newspaper. Think about the newspaper. Those have been around for what, like 100 years, right? People create one thing or one kind of content, one newspaper, and then they distribute it to many. So we check off both boxes. But how does it ever go back to a one-on-one relationship? It requires the user to call, right? It requires a call of action. The user would have to call, the end user would have to call or go knock on the door of the business that's advertising in the newspaper. Then think about billboards, right? A billboard does a great job of creating one piece of content because you just made one billboard, and then it gets seen by many. Anybody that drives by or flies by or walks by or whatever can see this. But how does it ever go back to one? Most billboards don't really have a call to action. You know, you're not doing something instantly that is a reaction to the billboard. When we think about the best billboards in the history of the world, if you've ever been to New York City, the two most traveled roads in the country are the Holland Tunnel and the Lincoln Tunnel, going in and out of New York City. And these are also the two most expensive billboard spots in the world, right? Right above the Holland Tunnel and right above the Lincoln Tunnel. For the last 15 or 20 years, Apple has owned that billboard space. And when you think about it, they dominate this, right? They have figured out how to create one thing. They usually change that billboard once a month or once a quarter or however often they release a trendy new product. So they got the one down, right? They obviously have the many down because more people traffic or drive that road than anywhere else in the world over those couple of hours where people are rush houring into the city. So they got the many down for sure. But how do they ever go back to one, right? They don't. There's not an Apple employee standing in the tunnel selling iPhones. There's not an Apple store right on the other side of either tunnel driving you in there. It's just a brand recognition thing, but it never gets back to one. Now, stories solve this because you create one piece of content It blasts out to many, meaning however many people you have on your social media. And then anything they do to engage, if they click it, if they touch it, if they click any of the buttons, if they message, if they like it, if they heart it, if they laugh at it, it sends it back to you in a one-on-one interaction. And this is the best thing going for social because they've figured out the question that's been around as long as people have been marketing. How do I go from one to many and back to one? And Stories takes care of that. So what do you need to, why do you need to be using Stories, right? It is so important now because the numbers are seriously insane. 500 million active daily users on Instagram Stories, 300 million active users daily on Facebook Stories. So this came out on Instagram first, and Facebook's always a little bit behind because it's an older demographic. But between the two of those, 800 million humans are using this tool or are checking it out at least every single day. Insane, right? Absolutely insane. 70% of users on social media watch stories every single day. 86.6% of personal accounts, so people have a personal account, not talking business, have used stories, but only 36% of businesses. So this is why we're kind of still at the ground floor of this with room to grow, because only a third or so of businesses have actually used stories. So huge opportunity for you guys, right? 1 billion stories are distributed every single day, and they have an 86% completion rate. So if you know anything about completion rates of videos or any kind of marketing pieces, 86% is off the charts. If you look at YouTube, they judge in how many people watch 3 seconds of a video, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 1%, 3%. People that are getting more than 10% completion rate on YouTube are printing money on YouTube. They are crushing it, knocking it out of the park. And this tool that's free, that requires pretty much no effort and no work besides being able to turn on your phone, is getting an 86% completion rate over years here, which is crazy. And Facebook and Instagram tell us, they tell us that if you use this tool, we're going to boost your engagement, right? Users that are creating 1 to 7 stories per day get a boost in engagement up to 70%. So they're sharing with us that, hey, if you just use this, we're going to hook you up, because they're spending tons and tons of money on this. So they want to see it work. So what are they doing? They're driving traffic to make sure that it does work. If you notice the app update on Facebook recently, it puts stories right at the top whenever you log in. And same with Instagram. Instagram's been like that for a while, but Facebook recently added it. So they're making sure people see these things. And that is what's really, really, really driving engagement and making it great for users and marketers. All right, so how do we create one? I'm going to do 2 different sets here, one on Facebook, one on Instagram. Now, these are made to be created on a phone. They are not made or designed to be created on a computer. So the screenshots and screen shares I'm about to do are only from your phone. I would not try doing this on a computer. It's very clunky. It's not fun. It's not easy to do. But on your phone, it is insanely simple. So you have to make sure you have the Facebook and the Instagram apps, obviously, to do this, but you want to make sure that you're creating from your phone. So on Facebook, here's what it's going to look like if you want to build this. The very left screen is what Facebook will look like when you turn on. Now, keep in mind that any one time, there's over 5,000 different versions of the Facebook app out in the world. So if yours looks a little different or your order is a little different, don't worry about it. But the key that you're looking for is the button that says create. And it should be your profile picture with a blue plus sign and the word create below it. We want to make sure we're in stories, and then we hit the create button. When we do that, it will ask, if it's our first time, it'll ask for access to our camera. If we've used Facebook with our camera before, it'll just open our camera right away and put us to a screen that looks like number 2. So it will show us our camera, and we can take a picture or a video of whatever we're looking at right now, or it will allow us to go into our camera roll or our library and pick out an image that we have in the past or a video that we have in the past. Now on Facebook, they organize their add-ons a little bit different. I'm going to walk through them, and then I'll walk through them on Instagram after. At the top, you're going to see stickers. This is the most important one. This is what drives the engagement on these. It looks like a little smiley face with the edge peeled up. Then you're going to see text. So if you want to just write over the picture, you can do text. Then you're going to see music. If you're on a personal account, you can add music from almost any song, band, DJ, artist, whatever you want in the world. Draw allows you to just draw right on top. And I'm going to show you some finished products later. And effects will like change up the lighting or the filtering. And then see more, there's a bunch of other options that are less popular. Now, what you want to learn, the only tool that you really want to make sure you learn is the sticker piece. And the stickers look like this on Facebook on the right. They look like the right side screen. They'll show you, you have the option to add a location, timestamp, a temperature stamp, which is my favorite to torture my friends up north, a tag. So if you want to tag another person or a business, a donation. So if you're doing any kind of charity or any kind of donation thing, you can do it there. The ability to register. So you can set somebody up to register for an event. You can do a poll. So if you want to do like a yes or no question, which I'll show you later, you can do an open-ended question. So you can ask, do you like going to the beach? And they can type in the box whatever they want. You can do a comment with, which allows someone to, maybe you'll say, comment with your favorite picture of the beach, and they can put their favorite picture of the beach. Again, you can add music, and then you can add the feelings, which are like the little emojis. And then at the bottom, they'll always have like whatever is going on in the news or whatever Facebook's agenda is that week or that month, they'll throw in there. So this is kind of how you create one on Facebook. Now, when you finish one, here's what it will look like. Last week, I did a funny one and screenshotted it because it made me laugh. I taught at an event and I couldn't reach the floor and the stool, and someone happened to get a picture of that. So it gave me a good laugh. So I made a little fun story about that. So this is what a finished story will look like. And you'll see how many people at that time, whenever I took the screenshot of this, 267 people have viewed it. You'll see in the bottom left. And if you click on that, if I click on 267 viewers, it opens up the analytics for the post on the right side, where you see it says 267 viewers and all these people commenting and laughing. These are all of what we talked about before. This is how it goes back to one. So anyone that laughs at it, clicks on it, hearts it, sends me a message, talks to me through it, it sends them right into my messenger and opens them up a conversation with me. So the reason I love stories is because I was at this event all day and there is no chance I would have talked to any of the people that you see on here. Not that I don't like them. It's just I was busy, right? And I wasn't going to go out of my way and reach out to these 6 random people. However, because they looked at my story and engaged in any way, some of them laughed, some of them put the little Facebook emoji, some of them messaged me. But because they did that, it sent me direct messages from those people, which allowed me to open up a conversation and build that relationship. So instead of cold calling these people and saying, hey, do you want to buy or sell a house? Or do you want to send us title work or whatever? It opens up the conversation with them. And naturally what happens, right? After you have a normal conversation with people or you talk about whatever the topic of the moment is, eventually what always comes up? The forward questions, right? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. How's the family? How's the kids? How's the wife? How's the husband, the spouse, whatever? How's work? What do you do? How's it going? Can I help you? All those things come. So the reason I love stories is because the analytics of this solve that one to many to one and allow you to open up these conversations and talk to people that you wouldn't have talked to that day. At the end of this, I'm going to share you guys all my socials so you can follow me and you can steal as many ideas as you want. I do a couple of these a day, almost every day. And on a normal day, I will engage with and interact with literally thousands of people that I never would have if it wasn't for stories. So this is what it looks like on Facebook. Now on Instagram, personally, I will tell you, I actually like to create mine on Instagram and then just share them to Facebook. So you get double the exposure with only doing the work one time. It's totally personal preference. Whatever one you choose to create them on is totally fine. There's no right or wrong, better or worse. It's just which app you like better, which platform you like better, what you like to click on better. I like the button placement on Instagram better. It's just easier for me. So that's what I use. But whatever you use is totally cool. So if you use Instagram, here's what it looks like. On the first page, whenever you open Instagram, it's just going to show you whatever the top piece of content is in your feed. And at the very top, you're going to have a little plus sign. So when you click on that plus sign, it gives you 4 options. One is to create a newsfeed post. One is to create a story, which is obviously what we're doing today. One is to create a reel and one is to go live. So when you hit the plus sign and click on story, it does the same thing as Facebook, right? It opens up your camera and will point at whatever you're looking at. And you can either use that or pull an image from your camera roll. Either one is fine. And then again, across the top, same things that Facebook had, they just look a tiny bit different. Text is the A's. The stickers, again, is the smiley face with the peeled edge. The little stars are the effects, which were in Facebook as well. And then the dots are more. So again, we want to use stickers. And when I use stickers, here's what opens up, the very right screenshot. it will always show a couple featured at the top. So whatever is going on in the news or that time of year, or if it's a holiday, will come up. So I'm guessing I did this on Chinese New Year when I took the screenshot. So it showed the Chinese New Year stuff. Then when I scroll down, it's going to show me again all the stickers. And on the next screen, I'm going to show you what all the stickers look like finished, but I just want to explain them again. So location allows you to tag where you're at, and other people can search and find you by where you're at. So it allows you to grow more than just your organic reach. Mention is if you tag someone. So in the example I'm going to show you, I was doing a training event with someone, so I tagged that person in the event. The add yours is add your pictures of the beach, or it allows people to add pictures of theirs that they want to share with you. The questions section is an open-ended question. So you could write, what's your favorite day of the week to go to the beach? And people can answer. The avatar is like if you make one of those little graphic people, like cartoon people that look like you can put them on there. The little gray box with the hourglass is a GIF or a GIF, whatever you like to call them. Those are like the moving little images. Music, again, allows me to add music, where if you have a personal account, you can add whatever you want. If you have a business account, you can only add like the free shared music. The little heart slider is like for people to tell you how much they love your picture of the beach. The poll is going to be a yes or no poll. It's a question that only has 2 answers. You can pre-program the answers. I'll show you that next. The quiz, think of it like a multiple choice test. So you can make a question with as many answers as you want. The link I'm going to share later. That's the big game changer feature we're going to talk about after this section. And then the hashtag is basically a way to search and group together content. So here's what a finished Instagram story looks like with all of these things on it. I made an obnoxious one just to have an example. So this one on the left is an Instagram story with everything on it. So at the top, you see the hashtag tool. So I did hashtag beach because that's one of the most popular hashtags on Instagram. I did music. So I just typed in ocean, and it found me songs that have ocean in the lyrics. Nice view. This is the little heart slider. So the end user can click on this little heart guy and drag it. The do you like the ocean at night? If someone types anything in there, it sends me a direct message. Ocean better at day or night. This is the multiple choice style. They call it the quiz. And you can have them pick this, and you can select which one is right or wrong. So you can make like a right answer or a wrong answer if you want. This one is the poll. Do you like the ocean better day at night or at day or at night? The green or the red. This is just to kind of get a poll of what the audience is feeling. So after you click on it, it will show results. At the end of this, if you go on my story, I did a food one like that today that you can just see an example. The add yours, this is the add yours. So I just did share pictures if you've been here. So if anybody else has been to this hotel or this area, they could share pictures back and we could kind of like compare pictures or whatever. This is one of our sales reps in Daytona, and I was doing an event with her at this location. So I just tagged her in there. And then this is the actual location. This is the hotel that I was at for the event. So this shows a finished product with every sticker on there. Now, you would probably never use every sticker because, as you see, this looks a bit obnoxious. You could, but you don't need to. And then on the right, these are the analytics. This is what it looks like when you have, similar to what we did on Facebook, right? It will show you who messaged you, who contacted you. So all these people messaged me from that post where my feet couldn't touch the ground, right? So you could see my brother, some other agents, some other people, whatever. You can see all of them message me. So all of these messages went right into my direct messages. So all these people, like I would have talked to my brother because I talk to him all the time, but everybody else, right, I probably would not have spoke to that day, and they ended up in my messages. So we ended up having conversations with all those different people. So to me, something that can engage with that many is amazing. Right, on a normal day, for me, I'll do a couple stories and I'll usually have 1,000, maybe 1,500, 2,000 engagements or interactions through this tool. If you think about what normal prospecting tools might be, like calls, right? If you think about cold calls, a normal cold call, if you're using a dialer, what do you get? 60 to 100 dials an hour, usually, depending on what you're using, maybe 15 to 20 contacts tops over the course of that time. The numbers on this are just so much better. It's insane. So cool ways to use Instagram stories there. So let's talk about the game-changing feature, the big one, really the reason that I did this class.
Ryan?
Yes.
I think Angela has a question. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you're on Instagram and you're trying to tag someone, if you don't know their Instagram name, can you do it by their normal name? Can you find it?
You can try, yeah. So it all depends on how they have their name in the account. Some people have their name tied to their account and some people don't. So if you just started typing their name, if it recognizes it, it will pop them up. If not, it won't.
And then
So-
I have a question.
One
I have a
second.
question.
One second. When you do the one that says mention, if I go back here to mention, when you do mention and you just start typing their, like if you know their Instagram handle, use that. But if you don't, just start typing their name and it will recommend who they think it is. And it's pretty smart. You know, most of the time it will figure it out. But sometimes if it's a crazy handle that's not in any way tied to the name, then they won't. And what was the other question?
So, you know how you can, when you're doing a story, then you can send it to Facebook too. Do you recommend that or do two separate ones?
Absolutely. So if you, let me see, if you look at the bottom here, see where the right facing arrow is?
Mm-hmm.
It will set, like I have mine, you can see this little Facebook link on top of my picture. So I have my story settings set that whenever I share, it just sends from Instagram directly to Facebook. So I build it on Instagram, post it there, and then it auto shares to Facebook, usually like 2 to 5 minutes behind, because it does take a couple minutes for it to load across platforms. But when I send it, it will then show up on Facebook as well with all the stickers or whatever I use will go across as well. So you do the work one time and you get double the exposure, which is the plus.
Right.
Now, does it go into your stories on Facebook or just
Yeah.
on your profile?
Yeah, it goes right into your stories on Facebook. All right, so the big tool, the big change is the link. And the reason I waited a little while to do this is because it does take some time. At any one time, there's about 5,000 different versions of the Facebook and Instagram app out there. And the people that are using the platform get access to the technology and the new features way sooner than everybody else. So I always like to wait a little bit so everybody gets it. Everyone should have access to this now. I'm going to show you how to do it, where it's at, and why this is such a cool tool. And then I'm going to give you guys some content examples and ways to kind of use this thing. So this used to only be available to people that had 10,000 followers or subscribers or more, or had the paywall up where if you could pay to play in this space. Now, as of about 60 days ago, it is free to everyone, which is amazing. The ability to drive absolutely huge traffic with this is just off the charts, and it is such a lead generation game changer. So if you've been in the Facebook, Instagram ad game for a while, you will know that one of the first strategies of Facebook and Instagram ads was the link ad. And that's been around as long as they've been running ads. So like 15 years on Facebook, it's been around. Now that this is free, this is the first time, these last 60 days or so, are the first time that you can do this for free without paying and actually be able to drive leads from it. So in my opinion, this really is a game changer because I have used the link ads as long as I've used Facebook for business, which has been way more than 10 years. So lots of awesome features coming with this. So how do we do it? Starting out, it's exactly the same. You start a story, you create everything. And I just want to show you an example. So what I did was I created a story with my little logo thing that you see on all of our marketing. I just put that as the picture. So I hit the plus sign. I did the story just like I did in the screen share with you guys before. I hit the sticker button, and then I'm going to the one that says link here where the red arrow is. You're going to point on the one that says link. It should be on your first page. If not, click the see more or scroll down and eventually you'll find it. It should be on everybody's. If it's not, make sure your app is up to date. Your phone and your app is up to date because they are rolling it out to more and more people every day. Everyone should have it, but if not, make sure everything's up to date. When you click on link, it opens up what the third screen looks like. A space for you to put a URL and a space for you to put custom text. So you can copy and paste right in here whatever link you are using. And then you can either leave it as that URL, which in my opinion looks a little sloppy, or you can put custom stickers over it to make the text say whatever you want. And I'm going to show you screen share in a second. I would suggest pasting the link in and then making the custom sticker text because it just looks cleaner. So what I did, one was just for fun as a joke. I put my my new logo over my old face and did a link. I was teaching a class for someone and I put click here to register. So the link was hidden in that text where if they click here to register, it would send them right to the Zoom link. And then the other one I did was for my private Facebook group, where if they clicked on join my private Facebook group, it would take them right in there to be able to go directly to the private Facebook group. So you guys can use this for anything you want. The link ads or the link things work really great for like list of houses, landing pages, your website. If you have a Facebook group for your database or a squeeze page or anything like that, you use to capture leads or maybe your mobile app. Anything like that is great to hide in these links. So again, you put the link in the spot that says URL, and then you make the text say whatever you want. So I put in a URL, made my text say, click here to register or join my private Facebook group. And when they did that, it actually brings them right into whatever it is that I'm trying to share with them. So that being said, I want to share with you guys some ideas, because everybody always says or gets hung up on the content, or they say, I don't know what to post, or I can't come up with anything, or I'm not creative. So I have a big list of content ideas for stories for you that you can steal and use any of these that you want. And if you follow me on social, the last slide of the day, I'm going to share you my social. If you follow me, you'll see the stuff that I do that works great, and you're more than welcome to steal any of my stuff. So a listing teaser, if you have a coming soon listing, or you got paperwork signed and they need to paint the door, or it's not going on till tonight, that's always a good tease. The open house preview, if you're doing an open house at 1, get there at 12:30, do a couple of quick stories, just teasing it, and then drop a link right on there with the address to drive them to the open house. The behind the scenes in real estate, people love seeing what you do every day, or what it's like setting up a showing or staging a house or anything like that. Renovation ideas, these always work great, right? Why do Property Brothers and all those shows make $1 billion? Because people always love home renovations. The this or that's, this is where you use the poll feature and you say this or that, top or bottom, left or right. Would you rather live with a view of water, a lake, or a view of the golf course? Or would you rather be in a single family home or a condo? Whatever it is, something that there's 2 options, and you use the poll feature to get people to pick. Add a link to view a list of homes. So put a picture of a home and say, click the link for all the pool homes in DeLand under, I don't know, whatever the average price is, 500,000. Sneak peeks, any kind of a sneak peek of new construction, a new listing, a new neighborhood, a new amenity going into an HOA, anything like that is fun. Check out the view. People always love the view ones. And remember, these are meant to be shot vertical. So we're going to hold it like this, right? And we are going to slide them across and just be able to use it that way. What else? Infotainment. You can use infotainment, something informative and entertaining. A community spotlight. If you have an HOA around you, you can spotlight a certain community or a condo building or a townhouse community. Anything like that is always good. Links to guides. If you have created like a home buyer guide, a home seller guide, tips to sell your house in this market, anything like that, put a link to it on there to capture. Small business spotlight. Maybe you do it with food or anything like that. Local restaurants, date night spots, anything that's local in the community that people might recognize is a good one. What would you pay for? These are good. What would you pay for this view? Or what would you pay for this, kitchen renovation? Anything like that people love. What color would you paint? What color would you paint the front door or this door or that door? Always good. If you could live here for X number of dollars, would you? So you might do, if you could live here for $2,000 a month, would you? It's a good lead generator. Market updates. Take the ones that your MLS sends out and just repurpose them and send them back out. Showings is always good, right? Think about House Hunters, right? That show is on like season 97, and they have House Hunters International and By the Beach and Bargain Hunt and all these different ones, right? That people are getting rich off of just following someone showing houses. So we can do the same. Home buyer or home seller tips are always good. Or a link to any kind of buyer or seller questionnaires to help leads kind of identify themselves. All these are great ideas for stories. You can, pick and choose as much of these as you want and kind of a la carte them, and whatever you like, great. If you don't like it, all good. Just wanted to share you guys some ideas that you can use. A couple tips. I personally start mine on Instagram and share them to Facebook. I think it's the easier way to do it. I think it looks better, but whatever one you choose is fine. Just start them on one and share it to the other. When you go to share it, there's going to be a share settings thing on the bottom if you've never done it before. Once you connect the accounts, you'll never have to do it again. You just do it once and then it shares automatically. Use the stickers to your advantage. Those sticker sheets are the things that drive the most traffic possible. Those are the most engaging features of stories. So use those stickers. That little smiley face with the peeled corner is the best way to do it. Do at least one per day, every day. Facebook and Instagram tell us that if you do these every day, they're going to give you up to 70% boost in your engagement and your algorithm. So you might as well do one a day, every day. Make sure you shoot them vertically. I know I've said this 3 or 4 times, but if you shoot them like this, it will look good. If not, when you have it sideways, the end user gets such a crappy product because they have to turn their head or turn their phone, and then the phone lock tries to adjust and it just looks crappy. So shoot them vertically. If you do more than one a day, try to spread them out. So what I mean by that is, let's say you shot 5 pictures or videos today. One at breakfast, one at showings, one at lunch, one at dinner, and one playing with your dog before bed. If you then lay in bed and post all 5 of them, people see them as back to back to back, all within 5 minutes. Now, if you spread them out through the day and post them at the time that you actually shot them, you will be at the top of the pile for each one of those times for people to see it. So the way the filter works on sorting stories is the most recent ones are always the top of the pile or the first one seen. So the more often you do them throughout the day, the better chance you have of being seen by more people. And my favorite one is just lick the stamp, which means just send it. Don't worry about what your hair looks like. Don't worry about your lipstick. Don't worry about what you're wearing. Don't worry about if it's goofy or you tripped or you stuttered or you said the wrong word or you look silly or whatever. Just send it. These are meant to be a story of your day, raw, unedited, no production value. They are meant to just be sent out. Get in the habit of sending at least one of these a day and don't stress about it. If it comes out crappy and you can't figure out how to delete it, 24 hours later, it's gone. Don't worry about it at all. Just get out there and send them, and you're going to start boosting that engagement. All right. So in summary, I think you should have stories. I think you should use stories every single day. And I think you should not overthink them. I think you should just get out there and do them and use that link feature, because for real, it is an absolute game changer. As always, thank you guys for your business. I'm looking forward to finally getting to meet you guys in person next month and doing an event with you guys instead of just always on Zoom. It'll be nice to do something for real. So looking forward to that. If you know anyone that should have been here, let us know so we can make sure we invite them or get them the link, or we'll work on getting them the replay if they missed it today as well. Carrie, thank you as always for the slides. She makes all of our stuff look nice. So I always like to say thanks to her. Coming up next Monday, we are doing a little Valentine themed Facebook ad class. It's going to be nice and quick, screen share, shot by shot, step by step on how to run a Facebook ad to generate leads. And I'll give you a real example of an ad that you can run that always does really well in every market, in every location, all the time. So I will share that with you next week if you want to use Facebook to generate some business. As always, the class, the Zoom will be free. This strategy does cost a couple of bucks if you want to get in play, but the class, of course, is free. If you need anything, here's how you can track me down or find me. You could always just do it through Kim, really is the best way. She always knows how to track me down. But if you need anything, here's my email. Follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. And if you're not in my private Facebook group for whatever reason, open up your camera, point it at that QR code, and it will pop up one of those little links that I just taught you how to make, and it will send you right to my group, and you can request access. If you have any questions, type it in the chat or just unmute and ask away. And if not, I will see you guys next week.